Okay, we're back. Just real quick, show you what's going on here. Picked up the other rod holder. You know, normally it's going to be facing outside when we go to storage to brace the cover up, be it the cover that's on it now, a tarp, or whatever we come up with. You know where I'm at on these covers. Went to Home Depot and got some materials. Got 2 regular nuts instead of that loosely fitting wing nut. Metric, 10 by 1.5. I could not get the nylon nuts today. They was all out of them. So we'll make do with this. We'll put the spacer on it, put it in the oar lock like we did the other one. You'll see that when we mount this, if you'll remember how I mounted that. I got 1.5 I'm sorry, half-inch PVC pipe. They had PEX, they had all kinds of different things. Got 1.5 inches, it's nice and wide. I've got the stick of it put away. I'm not going to get it out now because I jousted and was ready to run a lot of people through just getting it home. It's a 10-foot section. I thought it'd come in 8, but there's a few out there that called me to task on that, and you're right. They're 10, but they also have them in 6-foot sections, not 8. The 6-foot sections wasn't long enough to suit me, so I went ahead and got the 10 of half-inch. The inner workings of this, okay, picture with me here. The long piece goes across the boat. It's going to be coming up through here, and this is going to mount at a bit of an angle. This T will fit here. I'm probably going to put a couple of little nubs out there. Now they're going to be facing opposite, so they'll have opposite sides. That brace is going to keep it from turning and the whole brace laying forward. There's nothing on this side of one, but on the opposite side of the boat, that will be over here, and that'll keep it from falling backwards or forward, either way. You know, they're going to be opposed to each other. So it's going to go in something like that. And of course arch over. Now instead of putting it under that kind of a strain and that short of a distance, I got a 45. I'll play with that. I'll see how much of a bow is in it, how much of a strain it's under. What I'm afraid of is it's going to get cold in the winter and this will crack and shatter. Don't want to do that. I want it to mount up there and hold up. But I'm, at the same time, you know, picture that 45 in the center of the boat. Up, 45 down. That'll take some strain out, but still hold the structure of up and over and hold it up. So, I've got 2 of these T's. I've got, minus this little section here, which I have plenty with 10 foot. This will make an ear, and there again, picture with me. You know, it'll be like this. That'll keep it from tilting one way. The other side will keep it from tilting the other way on the other side of the boat, the other rod holder. It may have a little give back and forth, but it's not going to lay completely down if the wind gets to flapping or something. Those ears will hold it. May or may not stick a little nub out here to make sure it, you know, with any wind movement, it's not coming out. So there again, you know, it's going to hold it up that way. The other side will hold it up from going too far that way. 45 in the middle, maybe. We'll see. And the same deal on the other side. You know, a couple of little ears and a little ear out here and the main coming up. So we will get on that within the next day, probably. We have no rain coming this week. That don't mean anything. If you watched our camping channel, their weather forecasts mean nothing anymore. No rain all week. Night number 1, you know, we go through rain and storms. You know, inch, 3/4 to an inch of rain that night. So their forecasts are useless. But anyway, we'll be getting on this as soon as we get some free time. There again, this will come down like that. If you picture it. And arch over the middle and hold that up where that water always pools. And I got 2 just regular metric nuts for that. Like I said, I couldn't get the nylon capped one. I'm really not sure back there in the back if I want the nylon, because, you know, we're going to be loosening this just slightly every time. Spinning these from pointing outboard to inboard. And there's a little bit of an angle there on those oar locks. Spinning them to inboard and then putting the cover brace across. So it's, yeah, I'm kind of thinking it's not all that necessary to have a lock nut on these back in the back. Now the front, yeah, you know, they're not going to serve any function other than holding her rods up there. But, you know, just a quick turn. I carry some tools in the boat tote. The boat tool tote. There we go. So we'll be able to just loosen the top one, spin it around, snug it just a little, lay in the cover brace, and cover it up. So that's the concept. But like I said, you know, you picture an ear on each one of these, and the main coming out here. You know, this will keep from rotating there. The opposite side will keep from rotating too far that way and laying down. A little bit of an ear stuck out there, you know, to keep it in the back slot. So just in case, you know, it don't vibrate out just off the tee. And next video we'll be hooking this and the charger up. I'm going to be up there. I'm going to super glue this. It doesn't need to hold water pressure. I don't need to buy a whole thing of cement to sniff. PVC cement to snort. I might add that's good stuff, but it's not my thing. So we're just going to super glue this to start with. We're still in the trial phase. We're making this up as we go. There's no books. There's nothing available to get for this. You figure it out and you go with it. If it needs a little tweaking, you give a little tweaking. If it works, you make it permanent and you're good. So we'll be back. We're off to start here the next day or so. Kind of hooked up this evening. And we'll get there as soon as we can.